The following is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network. You're listening to Real Estate Radio Fresno on News Talk 580 KMJ and 105.9 The FM KMJ. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Craig Barton.
Good morning, Central California. I'm your host, Craig Barton. And welcome to the Real Estate Radio Network, because we're quirky. The most important hour of radio, important and informative hour.
And entertaining.
And entertaining.
And quirky.
And quirky.
Tim.
Yeah, each week here on News Talk.
I'm just looking at her.
He's just along for the ride. Here on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. You know, Real Estate Radio is a show dedicated to bringing some rational thought to the crazy world that we live in and helping you to rebuild the Central Valley's housing and credit markets. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted financial advice. And that's exactly what you're going to hear every Sunday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. right here on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. Good morning, kids.
Good morning.
You guys look a little down in the mouth. Are you
I'm dehydrated from all the heat.
I was going to say, the impending 102 or 10 whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
10 hot?
Feels like, 10 hot. It feels like it's going to be 112 today, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Welcome to the Valley.
You know what? Just a quick segue. We've been really blessed thus far. It really has not been as warm as it could have been. Now, granted, there is still time because July is
4th of July yet.
Yeah, well, in a few days, it will be 4th of July.
Darn it.
Yeah.
Can it still be like October of last year?
Yeah, that's a beautiful time of the year, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful time of the year. All right, good morning. Johnny B behind the mics. It's always great to get
Johnny
up on a
B
Sunday morning and
really small plums or
have
really
some coffee or
big cherries.
Not really sure what Johnny's eating for breakfast this morning. He looks like Vanna White right at the moment. Not Vanna White. Okay, that was bad, John. Sorry. Pamela Schulte, the color coach, here in the studio with us this morning. Thanks so much for getting up with us, kid.
You bet. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Very appreciative of being able to pull you away from your husband and your grandbaby and
the family. You
yeah.
bet. Yes, but I'm looking forward to being with you today and talking about decor items and staging homes and pulling it all together to get that home on the market.
Absolutely. To get that home to move on the market. And I tell you what, if you are potentially thinking about, if you're a seller or potentially thinking about selling your home, we're going to give you a few stats this morning with regards to market and inventory and exactly what the market has been doing as of late, and make sure that you understand that you really need to do everything that you can do in order to ensure, and not a lot of it is brain surgery. It's just a matter of being prepared.
Yes. Today's buyer is much more sophisticated than they used to be in past generations because they have the internet with pictures they can look at, model homes that are professionally decorated.
And cable TV where they get to watch DIY. And
exactly. All of those shows. Exactly. And all of those shows help them see homes that, I want my home to look just like that. And so sometimes they go into a home for sale with perhaps expectations that are not appropriate, but that really puts the onus on the seller to market their home and make it look the best it possibly can so they attract those potential buyers.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about that in greater detail. We've got Tim O'Hare, our money guy, our seasoned mortgage professional.
That's a nice way to say he's old.
Seasoned.
Good morning.
I didn't say snow on the chimneys, buddy. Come on now.
All right, but we all know it's there.
Oh, stop.
Good morning.
Casso. Client Mommy, our
Did you just call me that?
Casso.
Thank you.
Our client care coordinator.
Good morning.
It's all in how you pronounce it, whether you wake her up or not, I guess.
I really, really didn't mean to do that. Good morning, everybody. It's Lisa Casso.
Awesome. You know, the Real Estate Radio Network gives us the opportunity to reach so many people efficiently for one full hour each and every week. I call it our real estate and financial soapbox. Soapbox, yeah. You know, you get up on stand on a soapbox to get the word out. You know, our goal with the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market. We are going to talk about the market nationally in certain instances, but primarily we're going to talk about the real estate market as it affects you here in the Central San Joaquin Valley. We're going to share some financial secrets with you that the big banks and Wall Street don't want you to hear, so we can help bring you back home. Lisa's mocking me today, John.
I love to do that.
Do you?
I sometimes do that just sitting at my desk.
Great.
Pretend like I'm you.
Is he your role model?
Sharing a brain.
He is my mentor, actually.
Oh, my gosh.
And then there's Tim.
And then there's Tim. On today's show, what is most important when determining if it is time to sell your home? Interesting question. Is it time? Well, we're going to address that. And 74% of millennials say they plan to move within 5 years. We're going to talk about all the different generational folks, and as to, it's very interesting, as they get older, they tend to expect to move. And that's the hook right there. Existing home sales nationally are up 4.9%. Now, the home price gains of 20% that we have seen as of late begin to vanish.
Good.
And it's okay. It really is okay. And how do buyers evaluate real estate crushes? You ever had a real estate crush, Lise? Huh?
Well,
Tim, come on now. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
All the time.
And as we mentioned, we have Pamela Schulte here in the studio with us today. I almost said here in the office with us today.
Feels like it.
If we taped the show in our office, we could, or, did the show live in our office, that wouldn't be
Oh, it would be great. And with the remodel, it'd be even better.
You might want to just fit that into the budget.
Could you wear your pajamas?
Yes, you could.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
You could here.
I have a face for radio, so nothing really matters. As we mentioned, we have Pamela Schulte here in the studio with us, your paint color specialist. She's going to talk about color as it relates to, number one, maybe expressing your personality or who you are, but also how it could help as far as prepping to sell your home. And help to give you the leg up that you deserve in today's market. Keep in mind, guys, this is not the market of 2 years ago, where the market was the muscle and sellers were in control. You better start prepping. We're also going to take some listener questions, so make sure you stay with us. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions, or a topic that maybe is affecting you in your world, and you'd like a little input from the Real Estate Radio Network, give us a call. It all starts with one phone call. You can call us anytime on air or off air. This is our on and off air number, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Take us with you wherever you go, and listen to us right now on your smartphone at kmjnow.com. You can also go to our website and check out our resources by going to Valleywide Sells. Let's say you have a question regarding buying real estate, or you need bankruptcy advice, or maybe it is even selling real estate, or possibly getting your credit score up, or you have a question for our in-studio guest today, Pamela Schulte, the color coach. Go to our website, valleywidesells.com. Let's take a look at today's hot property. Today's hot property is brought to you by our buddy Bert Welsh at Wynn Home Inspections. Whether it is a residential or multifamily home inspection, call Bert Welsh today for all your home inspection needs at 559-363-4080. Again, that's 559-363-4080. Well, today's featured hot property is 811 Claremont Avenue. This is a 2-story, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 4-model home built in 2005. It's 2,797 square feet. Honest to goodness, it feels more like 3,300 square feet, and I kid you not. That is not false advertising. It really genuinely feels that big.
And it's gorgeous.
And it's absolutely gorgeous. This former model home has over $80,000 in builder upgrades. List price $299,900. It's 811 again, Claremont Avenue, Sanger, California. List price $299,900. If you'd like more information about today's hot property, give us a call, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958, and we will send you more information about today's hot property right to your phone. Look for more hot properties each week right here on the Real Estate Radio Network. Well, top stories in the news. Fresno County inventory. This is the 9th straight week in a row that we have seen an increase in housing inventory. And it begs you to...
happy.
Well, it's a good thing, but it also makes you ask the question, at what point do we get to that point in the market where there is a tremendous amount of equilibrium? Because you hear the term, is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Back 2 years ago, and it's been more recent than that, but you would ask folks, so what do you think, it's a buyer's market or a seller's market? And they would say buyer's market. Well, how do you figure? Because homes are cheap. Well, that is just one of the variables that plays into whether the market is really tilted towards buyers or sellers. And it's more so simple economics that plays, I think, a greater role. Meaning, so what are rates like? What is inventory like? And on average, what are you selling in terms of closings each and every month? Well, to give you a perspective, 1,890 active listings in Fresno County. So to give you some perspective, it wasn't that long ago. It was about 9 months ago that we had trended for almost 18 months at just over 1,000 active listings in Fresno County, which meant that low inventory, great for sellers.
A lot of frustrated buyers.
It was a seller's market, and it had been a seller's market for quite some time. Mm-hmm. Well, now that we are quickly approaching 2,000 active listings, year to date in Fresno County, we're averaging roughly 560 closings per month. To give you perspective as to what we've done during the last two, and I would say the prelude to the busiest time of the year, or the busiest months of the year, in April, 694 closings. In May, 708, and we are on pace to do about 700 closings this month in June. Basically, the makeup is 4.2, and it's very interesting because as each and every month we've seen the number of REOs or foreclosure properties decrease. We've also seen the number of short sales continue to decrease as well. So right at the moment, we've got 4.2% of our, or 80 of our 1,890 active listings are short sales, and 4.2% on the dot. 80. So you've got 80 active short sales. You've got 80 active foreclosures.
Interesting.
It's a huge drop, but that number for the longest time had been really hovering around 5%. So slowly but surely, we're seeing the number of foreclosures and the number of short sales. At some point, short sales will for the most part, dwindle away to really nothing. We would expect that REOs, or foreclosure properties, to make up somewhere between 2 and 3% of the active inventory on a consistent basis. So we're getting
That's
close.
Just normal attrition.
Just normal. I mean, that's just normal in a quote unquote. What is a normal market nowadays, Tim? Right? I mean, really.
I don't know.
It is all.
I've been in a time zone issue since about 2006.
You've been in a time zone?
Yeah.
So what are some of the most important things that you should, or some important things to think about when it comes time for deciding to sell your home? So if you're thinking about it, first and foremost, most folks are going to say, well, do you have equity or not? Yes and no, because again, 5% of the market, or there are 80 folks currently in Fresno County that are listing their property on multiple listing service and attempting to sell it and it has been deemed that they owe more, or they've determined that they owe more, less real estate commissions than what the property is actually worth or able to sell for. So first and foremost, assessing market conditions. Well, it's extremely important. Again, we talked inventory. It is not a bad time in the market right at the moment. It is neither a buyer's market or a seller's market. I would say we're a little closer to a seller's market than a buyer's market, but it's still a great time for buyers to buy. Economists suggest that somewhere between 3 and 5 months of active inventory, if we're trending 560 closings on a monthly basis, then guess what? We're right about there. We're right about the 3 to 5 months as far as active inventory on the market. And again, that's where you see that nobody finds themselves in a position to really feel the pinch or the squeeze and be under too much pressure to maybe do things as buyers were forced to do a couple years ago. Second thing, tax implications of selling. Well, if you've made that property your primary residence 2 out of the last 5 years, and it doesn't need to be consecutive years, it's just 2 out of the last 5 years, again, ensure that you need to consult your tax advisor before you go and you do list the property, just to be on the safe side. If you have resided in the property 5 out of the last 5 years, well, even better, you're afforded an exemption. The federal tax and the specific exemption, the specific law is the Federal Taxpayer Relief Act of 1997, and it affords you a capital gains exclusion of up to $250,000 per spouse, or $250,000 for an individual. So if you and your spouse own a property and you have $400,000 equity in that property, you can actually roll those monies tax-free into whatever you want. You could sell it, you could put it in the bank, you could roll it to another property, you could purchase a fourplex, you could purchase a vacation home, and there are
Put it all on red, right, Tim?
Put it all on red, yes.
Chancey would love you.
Exactly. And timing your decision to actually sell. Well, right at the moment, again, timing. We are in what we would call the busiest time of the year. When I say this, we are halfway through the calendar year, which is just, it absolutely boggles my mind. And I will always say, so halfway through, 2 weeks from now is Thanksgiving, and a week after that is Christmas?
That would be unacceptable to say that. Can we just get through? Can we get to July? Are we? What month is it at this moment?
It's almost July, my dear. Yeah, and the last thing that I think it's important to make sure that you take into consideration is with the advice or the help of your seasoned real estate professional. And I didn't mean old when I said seasoned. Tim.
I understand.
It's the word of the day. Quirky.
Taking the advice of your seasoned real estate professional in hopes that they're able to provide you with an accurate market analysis. Keep in mind, and I will say this, I've found this more times than not over the last week that I've been speaking with potential sellers. And potential sellers, hey, I'd really like to get an idea of what my property is worth. Well, one potential seller that I spoke with this week owned a 1,262 square foot home up in Squaw Valley. And I told her I'm able to pull the previous listing to get somewhat of a feel of what the property looks like. But in order to make sure that I do you and your property justice, it's really important that I see what type of improvements that you've made as far as the property is concerned, so that I'm able to compare apples with apples as far as the market goes. Because the last thing you want to do is, and especially up there, 2 out of every 3 properties that have sold is either a single or double wide as far as mobile homes concerned. It may be on a permanent foundation. So you want to make sure that you do a great job of comparing apples
May have
apples.
A well, may not.
Yeah, may have water, may not. Exactly. Take into consideration current mortgage rates. So, what are rates? What is your home? What is your home worth? And what's your exit strategy? Or as you're rolling the monies, or if you're planning on buying something, does the payment versus the amount of monies that you have down, does it fit your budget? Does it make sense? Because I think until you have all of that information, it really is kind of frugal to say, "Hey, I want to sell my home." But really, at what expense is that? So I think you have to be very, very careful. It is important to make sure that you take into consideration the market, the tax implications, the mortgage rates, and what your home is worth as it relates to what your payment's going to be. Extremely, extremely important. Well, sales of new U.S. homes surged in May to the highest level since 2008. And when I say specifically new home sales, I'll give you an example. New construction permits in Clovis, up 365% year over year.
If you just drive, you can see.
It's absolutely amazing. There was a DeYoung property subdivision that I was driving by this morning on my way into the studio, and now there's a sign up, sold out. And if you'd like to get on our VIP list. So it's really interesting. New construction is always going to have its ebb and its flow as far as the market's concerned. But folks are really determining if they're going to pay a little bit more for new construction. And that is not a derogatory term that's not saying something derogatory about new construction. New construction will always be price per square foot a little more expensive. Because why? It's a brand new home. It comes typically with a 210 warranty, meaning that the first 2 years there is a warranty from the builder in terms of manufacturer defects. And then after that, the home warranty takes over. And covers typically major systems as far as the property goes. But nobody's lived in that property at all, ever. So you don't have to deal with, ooh, yucky carpet. Oh, I only wear socks because somebody else has been on the. At least is sitting here with her mouth wide open, Johnny, going, really? Yeah. That's.
You don't have anybody else's dirt that you're having to clean up.
You know
after.
what, Pam? Exactly. Exactly. So it is going to cost you a little bit more, but it's interesting to see, and I think it's great to see. You know, our friends at Woodside Homes, our friends at Granville, our friends at DeYoung Property, at Lennar, they're experiencing a great time right at the moment. So expect that the dirt is going to continue to turn. And these are great numbers. These are really great numbers. Now, I will say this. We are headed in a direction where as we hope that the scales won't tip and the demand won't drop as far as consumer confidence helps to push demand. We are in a good place right at the moment. And it would be nice to be able to, hey, let's just stay here for a little while. If everybody... I say that, but it's like the American farmer. What? Wait, almonds? Really? Record? Oh yeah. Okay, let's go plant some almonds, and then in how many years we're gonna reap the rewards? Well, guess what? My daddy used to say, and he was a farmer. He would say the American farmer would do a phenomenal job of putting themselves out of business just for the simple fact that they could. So let's not build too fast. Let's not turn too much dirt. Let's take advantage while we have the opportunity. But I think one more variable that we need to make sure that we throw in there is let's not, and Tim, I know you feel this, let's not give too many people the opportunity to have access to financing that maybe they shouldn't have. Right. Because what we saw beginning in 2002, where all of a sudden stated income, no ratio, no doc, no, those types of loans, no meant yes.
Exactly.
Just so you know, gave folks the opportunity to, guess what, tip the scales as far as supply and demand was concerned and have access to financing that helped push the market into a tizzy. Much like we saw, April of 2006 was the high point as far as prices nationally in the housing market. And then we experienced the second Great Depression of this great country's history. It's a little crazy. A little crazy. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage related questions or a question pertaining to something that's really going on in your world right at the moment, all it takes is one call. Give us a call anytime. 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Take us with you wherever you go. Listen to us on your smartphone right now. I'm dead serious. Right now.
This moment?
Right this moment. Barely right now.
I would get in trouble barely right now.
Barely right now.
I would get in trouble from Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
Don't play that in here.
Give me the eagle eye. KMJ, well, then you'd hear the echo, right? KMJnow.com. You can also go to our website. Check out our resources online. You can search for your new home. It's great. It's free. The search is, not the home. Go to valleywidesales.com. Well, coming up, we have Pamela Schulte here in the studio. Pam is going to talk about color as it relates to your home and hopefully giving you the leg up and some tips to help you win as a seller in today's market. Again, make sure you stay with us. You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate. That's a dramatic pause. That was about as dramatic as you can get.
That was confusing.
Here on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ.
What happened?
I forgot you had one.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Rick Ransom, a local guy, began his career in mortgage lending in 1989. In 91, he became one of the first reverse mortgage lenders in California. Since that time, he's helped hundreds of seniors with reverse mortgages and other senior-related issues. And he's one of the few in this business who is a CPA.
This is Rick Ransom. Much of what you hear on TV and radio is not altogether true. There is misinformation. A reverse mortgage can help you supplement your retirement, pay off your existing mortgage or credit cards, even purchase a new home. If you're ready for a free face-to-face meeting with someone with 45 years experience in the application process, call me at 221-5355. That's 221-5355. I look forward to meeting with you.
DRE number 513201, NMLS number 240770.
Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
When it comes to investing in wealth management, you can find good counsel from someone at a local office for a Wall Street firm. And if you do well, a main office in New York does well. However, we at Thies & Duker Financial Consulting Group offer a very different choice. Our associates offer Wall Street experience from an independent, local company. We answer to you, not New York. Thies & Duker's owners, associates, and staff members live right here. We're your neighbors.
I'm Tom Morgan, a financial consultant with Thies & Duker Financial Consulting Group. I recently joined Thies & Duker because I wanted to serve my clients in an independent firm that truly values clients, families, and this community. If that's what you're looking for too, give me a call at 448-8190.
Feel right at home at Thies & Duker. Visit us online at thiesandduker.com. THIESENDUEKER.com.
The consultants at Thies & Duker are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valleywide Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let Craig and his team at Valleywide help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Start the search for your next home by visiting our website at valleywidesells.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958, and put the seasoned professionals at Valleywide Homes to work for you.
Listening to the Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
What's inside those plums?
Johnny said there's something catching in the studio.
Whoa.
You know, that dead air that you heard earlier, I actually dozed off.
What dead air?
Mid-sentence.
Narcoleptic?
Oh, my God. My buddy Darren Wu, New York Life. That was a plug for you, Darren. He's, I guess, a self-proclaimed narcoleptic. So
That was a strange moment.
Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, my gosh. As we mentioned, we have Pamela Schulte, the color coach of the Central Valley, here in the studio with us today. Thanks so much for being here, kid.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be with you today.
I'm glad I can be airy in front of you. It's great to be airy.
Have a lucid moment,
yes,
maybe?
Yes, I'm back. All right, we're back. So Pam's here to talk. Pam, tell us about what it is that you do with regards to color.
Well, the color coach specializes in paint color selection. So when I'm going into the homes or businesses of my clients, I'm helping guide them in the direction that they need to go in order to pick paint colors that are going to work best in their environment. Typically, people will think they should paint first, but that's actually the last thing they should do. If you're doing a remodel, you want to select that furniture or those linens for that bedroom. You want to choose that granite and the new tile for your kitchen, things like that first, because those items are limited in number. Whereas paint colors, each and every paint company has anywhere from 1,500 up to 3,000 different paint colors.
Have you seen those commercials right at the moment on the TV where this big monster that's all these paint swatches that's running after this, and all of a sudden the gal pulls the swatch and the swatches just go error, the little papers go everywhere. So when you talk about the order in which
I haven't seen that one. Yeah.
Well, I saw it. New cartoon out I just saw yesterday, so I posted it on the Color Coach Facebook page. It shows this little sign at what is very obviously one of the big box stores like Home Depot or Lowe's at their paint department. And the sign says, "Husbands, you have to have a note from your wives before you can select paint colors." I loved it. Great. That was too perfect.
So the order in which you would typically, and I'm going to kind of generalize.
Yeah. That's
hey, stop it.
No, I really am like, I think it's a great idea. It's a total shift in perception for me.
Yeah.
Well, for most people, they think, let's go ahead and paint the master bedroom first, and then we'll go buy our new linens for the bed.
I thought you were talking about the husbands having to have a note. Oh, it's your...
I don't even think about those comments.
Okay,
you know that. No.
And it's far easier with the number of colors out there to actually work with a paint color that's going to complement your linens than trying to find linens that are going to work with a paint color.
So sensible.
So, yes.
If you're moving into a new property, what I was wanting to try to quantify is the order in which you should be doing things, per se. So let's say furniture first.
Or flooring
or
even
flooring.
first.
Oh, there you go. So flooring, furniture, linens, paint color, and then accessories. Maybe in that order?
Yes, that'll be perfect. Yes.
But that way you're not painting yourself into a corner.
That was really good.
He's awake again. This is what happens when he takes those 2-second naps.
It's the B12
And he gets paid for this?
No. So many buyers move into a property and they just have white walls. Now, why do you find that some home buyers just leave their walls white versus others that use color as a way to express really who they are, what they like, mood?
Some of the home buyers leave it white because, quite frankly, they just don't want the hassle.
Yeah.
They've got to move the furniture. It's like moving all over again, particularly if they're trying to paint the whole house all at once, rather than maybe painting part of the house, the public areas, and then waiting for later on with the bedrooms and stuff.
That takes planning,
but
gosh.
It really does, yeah. And your home is literally torn up for several days, sometimes even a week, depending on the size of the home, while all that's going on. And so you feel like you're displaced. So the mere thought of having that hassle just isn't worth it. So they'd rather keep the white walls. Other people get into their homes, though, and they want to paint immediately, or they can even try and paint before they get moved in.
Right.
I receive phone calls often where they're going, I've got a 3-day window. Can you get here and choose my paint colors? But the paint colors depend on the other items in the house.
Sure.
So I have been known to go to the old house to look at the items in their home and then go to the new house and try and pull it all together.
Because those old items are going to eventually be moved.
Exactly. Most of them are going to be the same. They're not going to be buying all new furniture or all new flooring and stuff. So
you're able to help folks with whether it's their home or their business, whether it's interior or possibly even exterior.
Yes, I often do exterior home color consultations, and that's where the roof color comes in to be quite interesting.
Isn't that so amazing? Yeah.
Obviously, if you have a home that has an orange or terracotta tile roof, you're pretty limited in the numbers of paint colors that you can use.
Over the last 6 years, I have to say I've seen some very interesting color combinations that I don't know Pamela. I'm pretty sure Pamela had nothing to do with.
Maybe we should carry around her cards as we're driving around.
Hand them off to people. Exactly.
I know that I can think of many.
It really is. It's amazing that when you drive when you drive up and you look, okay, you mentioned terracotta. First thing that comes to mind, green does not go.
I'm thinking that they probably had a sale on paint at the store that day.
Yeah, like institutional gray.
Because every neighborhood's got a few of them.
Yeah, every neighborhood. You got 1 million gallons for like $5.
Maybe people just really want to express their individuality like you were talking about.
I was going to ask, where's your, I know you're in Fresno, right? But where else do you go?
I pretty much go within 60 miles of the Fresno Clovis metropolitan area.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Do we like that?
Yeah.
So I've been down to Visalia and Tulare. I've been up to Oakhurst and any number of places in between. So with the roofs, back to that for just a moment, though. If you're putting on a new roof on your home, I would try and recommend that you either go with the black or the dark charcoal gray roof or a dark brown roof. That gives you the most options. If you end up with a gray slate roof, again, you're kind of limited in colors that you can use on the exterior of the house. And then depending on how many nooks and crannies and different surfaces you have and what do we do with the front door, and I've got shutters and all kinds of things. So we can end up with 5-6 different colors on the exterior of a house sometimes.
Absolutely.
One of the fun ones that I saw, though, one time when it was very obvious that I'm just guessing it was the male of the household, painted the trim on his house the same color that he had used on the trim of his camper that was sitting out in front of the house.
He just wanted to tie it all together, right?
Keeping it classy, Fresno.
There you go.
Wow. Was that John Deere green or John Deere yellow? So, Pam, with all that you had mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show, with all the resources that buyers have or homeowners have, it can be overload in terms of stimulation because the Internet's getting much better at being able to package information to a homeowner when it comes time for making a multitude of decisions. So what are some of the potential turnoffs in today's valley when you look, or in today's market, when you look at a property that someone's potentially willing or wanting to sell? What are some of the potential turnoffs that you see?
Well, assuming you've got all the curb appeal on the outside of the house.
Yeah, that goes without saying, right?
And that home buyer is going, ooh, I love this house, let's go inside. They walk in that front door, and one of the first things that will make them turn around and walk right back out again is when they see that dreaded popcorn ceiling. Sometimes you call it cottage cheese ceiling, very popular during the construction years of the 40s through the 80s. Wow. And you have to be careful with some of that because some of that material had asbestos in it, which is a known carcinogen. So you want to be sure, if you're going to try and remove that product, to have it professionally done. That is not a do-it-yourself project at all.
Yeah. At the very least, if you decide you're going to do it yourself, make sure you have it tested first.
Correct.
Because if the property was built prior to 78, you could be dealing with something you don't want your family exposed to.
Particularly as those little flakes of particles fall down on the carpet, and you've got your 2-year-old running around, playing on the floor and everything.
Yeah. Eating paint.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And talk about kitchens real quick. Kitchens sell homes.
Kitchens sell homes. Everybody knows that. So one of the things that I find most people do when they have that 20, 25, 30-year-old property is that they just want to sell the house as is. Mm-hmm. They don't want to do anything to it. I would recommend they consider investing a little money in fixing the house up. And one of the things they can do is replacing those old cracked tiles with that dirty-looking grout in it and put some kind of a solid surface countertop on that. Even if the cabinets remain the same, you don't have to do a full kitchen remodel, but put some new solid surface type countertop on it, and the homeowner or the person that's coming in and looking at your home to possibly buy it is going to like the fact that they don't have to go through the hassle of removing all that old tile with the dust and everything that entails and put in a new countertop themselves.
The numbers show consistently that the return on your investment when it comes time for putting dollar for dollar into your kitchen, that the percentage is just so much higher when you put those monies into a kitchen. So as an example, you don't have to pull necessarily all the cabinets out. You go with nowadays granite. My goodness, Simonian Farms is selling granite outside of, and they do, and I'm not saying this in a derogatory way, they do a phenomenal job, Simonian Farms. It's one of our favorite stops coming back into town, believe it or not. When we come back in from the coast, we stop there. Well, they sell granite. Granite has become so much more affordable.
Yes, it has.
Even granite tiles. So think of this, as far as the cabinets are concerned, there's a number of different ways that you can resurface the cabinets, whether it's color, whether it's stain, new hardware, a new countertop. Next thing you know, you're putting in a new fridge, stainless microwave, stainless dishwasher. Well, you may not want to. Actually, I think you still do want to leave. Yeah, there you go.
You're right.
Look in the mirror and ask yourself that question seriously. No, but in terms of investment, it could conceivably be, especially if you do some of the work yourself. I'm not advocating. Make sure that obviously you don't want to be laying your granite countertop, because next thing you know, you bust the sucker as you're putting it in. Bad career move.
Yes.
But the point is that you could probably do it for far less than what you anticipate, and get far more for your home just for the simple fact. I showed a property to some very good friends of mine within the last 60 days or so, and it was out off of 168 in Academy. And there's quite a number just east of Academy of 2-acre parcels with older ranch-style homes out there. And just so happened, this particular property, the kitchen had not been updated. I'm just thinking to myself, how much more, comparatively speaking, and I've done a number of comp searches out there, how much more could they really have gotten had they updated the lighting, had they updated the surface, had they updated the hardware, maybe even painted the cabinets in a little different style? I tell you what, I bet you for under $10,000 they could have probably gotten $25,000 to $30,000 more for that property. So it pays.
It definitely does
to make
pay.
sure that absolutely. So if someone has a question,
not only will you receive more on your offer that you're looking for, but the home will sell faster. And one of the things that most people hate about their home being on the market is the having to get up and clean it every single morning
and then leave when the buyers want to come look. Potential buyers want to come look.
Those open houses. Okay, what am I going to do for 5 hours on a Sunday afternoon while the open house is going on?
Yeah. Exactly.
We want to get that home on the market and off the market again as fast as possible, and hopefully selling it at top dollar.
Sure. When you're prepping your home to sell, we were talking before we came into the studio about sellers prepping their home for buyers and potential buyers' tastes. And that's one of the things that I think people really overlook is I love burgundy. Okay, well, burgundy might not, and I'm being facetious when I say that. Burgundy's not my favorite color. But when you look at burgundy, and let's say you've got 2 of your walls in your formal dining room that are painted burgundy. Well, your suggestion was what?
With a color like burgundy, it's a really strong color and might not necessarily go along well with all the rest of the items. And in today's decor world, accent walls or feature walls, as they're sometimes called, really are kind of passé.
Yeah.
But if you do want to still do an accent wall, exactly. If you do still want to do an accent wall, then use that darker color to bring the attention to that wall for a reason. Either there's a great view outside a window in that wall, or there's a beautiful piece of artwork or a beautiful piece of furniture on that wall. Don't just paint a wall red just because you like the color red. So most of the time you're going to want to repaint that room and get rid of that burgundy wall so that it's a nice neutral, and that those home buyers then are going to look at it and go, oh, it's been freshly painted. I don't have to do anything when I move in, because they're looking for that move-in ready home.
Sure. So many folks are, especially when you think of the last 8 years or so as far as the housing market goes, and so many of the flippers, and I say flippers respectfully, those investors that have come in, purchased at the courthouse steps, or possibly even purchased retail through the multiple listing service or the Fresno Association and one of their agents, and gone in and really done a phenomenal job.
Just total rehab.
Absolutely.
It's all very neutral.
It is all very neutral and consistently neutral, and the reason being is they talked to Pam, and Pam told them, stay neutral. I mean, really, seriously.
Well, it's hard to see past that. If you're not a burgundy person, I can't see my children's pictures on a burgundy wall.
Absolutely. So many folks, believe it or not, people do a great job of getting in their way. So they'll see that wall and say, oh, terrible, oh, I don't like it. Well, all of a sudden it forms an opinion of the entire property when it's just a wall that's easily primed and painted, and could be painted any color that you like.
Those same kind of neutral aspects also carry over into the kitchen remodel that you might be doing. And when you're purchasing that granite, you want to make sure it's fairly neutral too. Right. You don't want to get involved with a lot of orange colors that are running through it, or maybe even green colors. Stick with something that has some white, off-white, maybe chocolatey brown, some spots of black in it, that type of thing that's going to be pretty neutral, that can work with just about anybody's decor once they move into the house.
Now, we just got a question. Susan from Madera. Now, you might think that it is piggybacking on exactly this, but Susan asked a question that's really specific to this and how it affects the value of the property. Susan from Madera asks, a friend of mine is in the process of selling her home and had a great question. Could having colorfully painted walls lower resale value or raise the resale value? And I know you've got an answer for
In
this.
the long run, it could possibly lower the resale value, because the longer your home sits on the market, the less interest there's going to be in it.
People when they look at properties,
and you've got to start dropping that price in. Maybe it's just a $5,000 here and $5,000 there, but the more you drop the price, the less you're going to get out of it. But when all is said and done,
and when you take into consideration market dynamics, you've got to make sure that you do everything in your power to make sure that your property appeals to the masses. This is not, again, it's not about you and what you like. It's about other people seeing themselves living in your home.
That's
so
correct.
Declutter, depersonalize, repaint that burgundy wall. Granted, if it is something that goes with, let's say you have an accent wall that goes with the wallpaper necessarily in that room, you may have some great suggestions as to a different color that still goes with that wall and can still accent, but is more neutral, right?
Correct. Yes. One of the other things you might want to consider too is making sure those windows are washed. even power wash the outside of the home too.
No dead flies in the windowsill?
No dead flies in the windowsill.
Okay.
All those little things help make your house look like a model home, and that's what a homeowner is trying to achieve, because this is no longer your home. This is a piece of property that you're trying to sell, so you want to put it in its best light. So always be thinking about that, and there might be a little investment involved in order to get it to the point where somebody's going to walk in and say, I love this house, I can't wait to make an offer on it.
And I can see myself living here.
Right. Yes.
Absolutely. So, Pam, if someone is within earshot of our signal this morning, listening to the show, and would like some input from you with regards to, let's say they've got a home, whether it's inside or outside as far as their residence, or a home that they're moving into, or a business that they need some help as far as decorating and making sure that it looks homey yet professional, how do they get a hold of you?
They can certainly go to thecolorcoachcentralvalley.com, which is my website. They'll see a little bit about how we do what we do, as well as some photos in the gallery section and some testimonials from my past clients.
Awesome.
They can also reach me, of course, by phone. A 559 area code 593-6897 would be the phone number. I am also on Facebook and Pinterest, so they can check out those sites as well. And then I will be next month is the Fresno Home Decorating and Remodeling Show, so I will have my booth there in the agricultural building, which is air conditioned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Important to note here in the Central Valley.
Yes, and not only will I be telling my clients about the colors of their homes and stuff and what's going on in the decor world, but I will also have copies of my recently published novel there as well, so they can get an author-signed copy if they're interested in that.
Fantastic. Tell us a little bit about the novel real quick.
The novel actually uses a character that does the same kind of work that I do. She does staging, she does decorating, she does seasonal decorating types of things and paint colors, and works with architects, construction people, also all those types of things, and there's a little bit of mystery to it. It includes, since it is based locally, it includes some things like Children's Hospital and Clovis Community Hospital, and even a coffee house that's become real popular on Clovis Avenue down in Clovis. Cup of Joy.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that. No.
Zach very graciously said, sure, go ahead and use Cup of Joy. So you'll note that several times in the book as well.
Fantastic.
So.
And incorporates a little faith as well.
It does incorporate a little bit of faith as well, and there's a little bit of angelic experience going along as well. So you can purchase that through Amazon if you want to. It's available in both paperback and an ebook version.
Nice.
So, and then I will have copies at the home show that you can purchase and get a signed copy there. So
perfect. So again, that's Pamela Schulte, the Color Coach. Go to her website, thecolorcoachcentralvalley.com, or you can reach Pamela directly at area code 559-593-6897. Again, 559-593-6897, or check you out at the Fresno Home Show coming up here this next month.
I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Great. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage related questions, or questions regarding the information that we share with you on this show, or you have a question about something that Pamela spoke about today, give us a call anytime. 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Take us with you wherever you go, and listen to us on your smartphone at kmjnow.com, or go to our website and search for your next home at valleywidesells.com. Well, coming up, Phil from Selma asked, my wife and I are wanting to buy a home, and we lost our home and filed bankruptcy about 4.5 years ago. What do we need to get pre-approved, Tim? And will the bankruptcy and foreclosure actually stop us from buying a home? When we return, we're going to take some listener questions, so make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate here on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Rick Ransom, a local guy, began his career in mortgage lending in 1989. In 91, he became one of the first reverse mortgage lenders in California. Since that time, he's helped hundreds of seniors with reverse mortgages and other senior-related issues. And he's one of the few in this business who is a CPA.
This is Rick Ransom. Much of what you hear on TV and radio is not altogether true. There is misinformation. A reverse mortgage can help you supplement your retirement, pay off your existing mortgage or credit cards, even purchase a new home. If you're ready for a free face-to-face meeting with someone with 45 years experience in the application process, call me at 221-5355. That's 221-5355. I look forward to meeting with you.
DRE number 513201, NMLS number 240770.
Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
When it comes to investing in wealth management, you can find good counsel from someone at a local office for a Wall Street firm. And if you do well, a main office in New York does well. However, we at Thies & Duker Financial Consulting Group offer a very different choice. Our associates offer Wall Street experience from an independent, local company. We answer to you, not New York. Thies & Duker's owners, associates, and staff members live right here. We're your neighbors.
I'm Tom Morgan, a financial consultant with Thies & Duker Financial Consulting Group. I recently joined Thies & Duker because I wanted to serve my clients in an independent firm that truly values clients, families, and this community. If that's what you're looking for too, give me a call at 448-8190.
Feel right at home at Thies & Duker. Visit us online at thiesandduker.com. THIESENDUEKER.com.
The consultants at Thies & Duker are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valleywide Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let Craig and his team at Valleywide help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Start the search for your next home by visiting our website at valleywidesells.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958, and put the seasoned professionals at Valleywide Homes to work for you.
You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, Timmers, this one's for you, our resident.
Yeah, get involved now.
Oh, my gosh, stop it.
You just have to wake up now. So
Phil from Selma. Yeah, wake up, Tim. Phil from Selma asked, my wife and I are wanting to buy a home, and unfortunately we had lost our home and also filed bankruptcy a little over 4 years ago. Now, what do we need to do to get pre-approved? But first of all, will the bankruptcy and the foreclosure stop us from buying a home?
To answer that question quickly, no. But it does kind of depend on the loan type that you're looking for, and it also time frame too. So typically the loans that are available out there, you have conventional, FHA, USDA, which is a kind of a
U.S.
rural,
Department of Agriculture.
It's
right.
Out in the smaller communities, and then VA loans. So if you're going conventional loan, bankruptcy, foreclosure, 7 years, you have to wait from that time period. So credit-wise, a little bit more leniency is going to be your FHA, VA, or USDA loan product. And typically speaking, the scores for the clientele has gone way down. It used to be 640, then it dropped to 620, and now we're seeing investors that are buying those loans at 550 FICO score, which is pretty low.
Isn't that amazing? So things really have loosened up to a certain degree.
And I think a lot of times, the customers, they don't know. Gentleman's asking the question. Yeah. Gentleman's asking the question. So I think your best bet is who jump in, find out what's on there.
Right. Knowing where you're at is so critical because for most folks, it was embarrassing. Whatever happened, whether it was that you just got in over your head and you were advised to file bankruptcy as part of the process, and you had a bunch of debt as well, above and beyond the mortgage. Number one, it's an emotional time because you have to deal with something in the past that was not very pleasant.
Right.
And taking a look back and recalling all those things about exactly what went down, because you're probably going to be asked to write some sort of letter of explanation as to what exactly happened.
You will. And surprisingly, it doesn't have to be that elaborate. You can
just
the economy stunk. I lost my job. I was searching for a job for a couple of years. I got a job now, back in the work environment. And talking with your loan officer, whoever that loan officer may be, hopefully it's me, you can get those questions resolved pretty quickly. And then at least put you on a game plan.
Sure. Know where you're at. The most important part. So if you're interested in knowing exactly where you're at, give Tim O'Hara a call. 559-349-0789. Again, that's 559-349-0789. And really, Tim can show you exactly where you're at. And if there is a financial game plan or blueprint that he needs to put you on, can do that as well to put you in a position so as we say.
And those loans also talking about, there's some guidance as far as what to do not only now but in the future on those types of loans too. So something to
take someone experienced along with you.
Yeah.
Just like Tim. Good deal. 559-349-0789. Juan from Fresno. I had someone come through our neighborhood recently. This has happened to me a couple times. The last kid that came through the neighborhood, he was kind of rude. I was a little surprised. Saw that we didn't have solar on our roof, and boy, this salesperson really got me confused. Buy, lease, I really don't have any idea as to what's the best way to go. Well, my suggestion, first and foremost, is we have experts that are contributors as far as the show's concerned. And one, I would suggest that you give Glenn Siemens at Arise Solar. Glenn's a great friend of the show. Actually will be coming up here before you know it. Sit down with Glenn. He'll actually come out to the house, sit down with you, really determine what your needs are, and tell you exactly what, or give you all the different options so that you're able to determine exactly what suits your needs, given your situation. Give Glenn a call. Again, that's Glenn Siemens. He is the owner and CEO of Arise Solar. Yes.
It costs as much as talking to that guy on your front porch for half an hour. That's confusing, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Give Glenn a call, 559-449-8989. Again, 559-449-8989. Well, Sherry from Kingsburg, how important is a good-looking, I chuckle because it's important. That's why I chuckle. How important is a good-looking lawn if I want to list my house this summer? And I want to be a responsible citizen, but I don't. But I also want to get top dollar for my home. Well, your lawn is extremely important. And as Pamela said earlier, if you get by the curb appeal, well, so it's extremely important. In order to ensure that you've got great curb appeal, Pam, you got to water your lawn.
That front lawn is extremely important.
Absolutely.
I love our lawns here in Fresno.
I went up to him on a listing appointment. He said, "We've got to do something about this lawn."
I think there's actually going to be a lot of change in the landscape of lawns in the future. Yeah.
Some of us hippies out here are going to insist on that.
Yeah.
We're going to have to.
We're going to have to travel to Phoenix and look and see what they do.
We really.
Oddly enough, there's so many Californians that have moved to Phoenix that there's all kinds of lawns over in Phoenix these days. It's amazing.
Funny you say that because my brother-in-law lives in Phoenix. He actually lives in Chandler, southeast of Phoenix, and you're exactly right. He's a Clovis transplant. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that we share with you on our show, it all starts with one call. Give us a call anytime. 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. A special thank you to our special guest host, Pamela Schulte, your paint color specialist. You can check Pam out at thecolorcoachcentralvalley.com. Again, thecolorcoachcentralvalley.com. Or you can give Pam a call direct at 559-593-6897. Again, 559-593-6897. You know, our goal with the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market. We're going to tell you what the big banks and Wall Street don't want you to hear, so we can help bring you back home. Don't forget to tune into the Real Estate Radio Network next Sunday at 9 a.m. on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. Make it a great day, Central California, and we will see you next week.
The preceding is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.